A detailed guide to planning your next trip to Las Vegas. In this video, I'm going to share with you a neighborhood by neighborhood guide of where you might want to stay in Vegas, what you might want to see, what you might want to eat, and we're going to do it all looking at a map just as if we were friends sitting here by the fire, just like I would tell my best friend what they should know if they were planning to visit Las Vegas. This is a live stream, and if you're on the live stream, I look forward to taking your questions and hearing what you think about places you like to stay and places you like to eat. Now, as we get into it, first I'm going to talk about places to stay, and I'm going to start with non-traditional places to stay. So we're definitely going to get to the Las Vegas Strip, but we're also going to talk about places around the Strip. We're going to talk about places in downtown, so this isn't just the Strip. So first, let's go to our map and let's go ahead and zoom into Las Vegas, Nevada. And a lot of people who go to Las Vegas drive in from Los Angeles or Southern California. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hit up one of the first hotels that you might see coming in off the Interstate 15 right here. And that hotel is the M Resort and Spa. And it's technically in a city called Henderson. Actually, Las Vegas is made up of various cities and even unincorporated parts of the county of Clark County. But there's this hotel right here, M Resort and Spa. If you're looking for a little bit of a place to get away from the Strip, it's definitely on the luxury scale. They have a neat swimming pool. Definitely consider the M Hotel. It'll be the first place on your drive, easy to get in, easy to get out if you're driving from Los Angeles, and that's what it looks like from the pool side. Now, another hotel that you might consider, and this is also in the southerly direction, by the way, this is the Interstate 15 right here as you drive in from California, and then this is Las Vegas Boulevard, which you would consider the Strip, just the south end of it. There's another hotel here known as the South Point Hotel and Casino. A lot of people don't know about this, but you will see it on the Interstate 15 driving in from Los Angeles. And if we take a look at the South Point Hotel, oh, that is definitely not the South Point Hotel. That isn't either. That is the South Point Hotel. And it is probably not nearly as upscale as the M Hotel or the other two we're going to hit. But if you like bowling, let me tell you, the South Point Hotel has something like 40 bowling alleys in the South Point Hotel. Really good cheap eats. If you like late night eats, $1.50 hot dogs. So South Point will be an inexpensive place to stay if you're looking for something inexpensive, yet still nice and on the fairly new side. Now, those other two pictures that I flashed up there, we're gonna do this one first, which is Green Valley Ranch. Green Valley Ranch, if we look on the map and we zoom out again. Anyway, when we're looking at Vegas, just to orient ourselves, we're down here in this area. This is the airport up here, and the Strip is this way, and downtown's over here. So we're definitely in the southern part of Vegas. The Green Valley Ranch is actually a green, grassy hotel in Vegas, and you see all those palm trees. Well, you don't see them yet because I haven't put in the picture. I'm zooming into it first, but as you can see, there's a lot of greenery around this place, and when you look at it, it looks like something much more a European hotel rather than a Las Vegas typical Strip hotel with big flashing neon lights. Popular place to have weddings in Las Vegas here at Green Valley Ranch. Now, one of my favorites of these off the beaten path hotels, and we're gonna zoom out again so we can head over there, is the JW Marriott in Las Vegas. Now, this is in a neighborhood called Summerlin, and so we move out, we zoom out, we go past the Strip, and now we're over on the west side of Vegas. You can see we zoomed into a lot of greenery. The JW Marriott right here has lots of parkland, lots of greenland, golf courses around it. If we look at the picture of what that looks like, it looks just like this, something that you actually wouldn't consider to be a Las Vegas hotel. Nice lakes inside of it. You can feed ducks inside the hotel. And so I really like places like this so that you can go to the Strip, you can go to the craziness, but you can also relax just a little bit more than if you're always around the hustle and bustle. Now, one other area that a lot of people often don't think of or aren't even aware of is there is this neighborhood called Lake Las Vegas, and we go ahead and we'll fly over to Lake Las Vegas. This takes us over to the east side of Las Vegas, almost by the Hoover Dam area. And here we go with Lake Las Vegas. It is a man-made lake. That's not Lake Mead over here, right? This is the Hoover Dam and things like that. So this is another lake that's over here. But you can see this is a pretty upscale neighborhood, lots of green, grassy area. And at this little southwest tip of it, there are a few hotels right in there. There is a Hilton, a Westin, and the Montelago Hotel. If we take a look at that from kind of just another little angled aerial shot, you see it like here as it's still kind of being built up, but those hotels are in the lower left-hand corner. These, when the strip is booked up, high prices, you'll almost always find really pretty inexpensive prices at Lake Las Vegas. Next, we're gonna head to downtown, and downtown is not a place that I stay all that often. I definitely prefer the Las Vegas Strip or Strip adjacent hotels to what we're going to talk about. But downtown Las Vegas up here is definitely a place where you're going to get some good value. So this is Las Vegas Boulevard. If you just take the Strip and keep driving north past the Stratosphere, you will end up here in downtown Las Vegas. I do have another map that I want to take a look at that kind of is how I like to think of downtown Las Vegas. And if we look at this map, sort of that purple thing in here, that's Fremont Street, the Fremont Street experience. That's the thing that's famous. It's this overhead LED projection screen. They've got zip lines that goes down that like 4 blocks of Fremont Street. The Plaza Hotel at the top of it, old classic hotel. Circa, that I've written there in green, is one that I would recommend you stay at. It is the first new hotel in downtown Las Vegas since, well, gosh, a long time ago. Here, let's go to picture the Circa. It is the first new hotel since 1980. The smallest room at the Circa Hotel is 980 square feet, and their parking garage, the Garage Mahal, has a chandelier in it, so even their parking garage is nice. The property that the Circa is on, that I've highlighted there, before that, it was the Las Vegas Club, the Mermaids Casino, and the Glitter Gulch Strip Club. Now, a few other hotels that are down there. A lot of these hotels are pretty old in downtown. The other one I might call out is the Golden Nugget Hotel. It's kitty corner from the Circa. The Golden Nugget Hotel was built in 1946. It is one of the oldest casino hotels in the city, still in operation. In comparison to Circa, Circa has currently about 500 rooms in operation. The Golden Nugget has 2,419, so it's a much bigger hotel. It has the world's largest golden nugget on display, but one of the things that I think is really cool is they have this water slide that actually goes through the aquarium. So if you're staying at the hotel, you can go through this water slide and you can see it in the middle of that aquarium right there. That one's pretty neat, and Golden Nugget, one of the still kind of upscale hotels there in downtown Las Vegas. Now we're going to come back to downtown Las Vegas in a moment to talk more about things to do in downtown Las Vegas. We're still covering places to stay. Now I want to hit strip adjacent place to stay. What do I mean by strip adjacent places to stay? Well, hitting back to our map, all the famous casino hotels are on the Las Vegas Strip, but if we kind of zoom out, all right, this is the Las Vegas Strip right here. Ton of hotels, but they've got resort fees and they've all got parking fees, and there's a lot of great hotels to stay that are just on either side of the Strip, half a mile away, a mile away, that you should definitely consider. The first one I want to hit is right here. This is on Harmon Avenue. This used to be the Hard Rock Hotel. It is now the Virgin Hotel. It's been all redone and remodeled. Google actually still calls it the Hard Rock Hotel, but this one says Virgin Hotel. So you can consider that. That is like the closest hotel to the airport. You see the airport runways right here, and it's just kind of a short hop, skip, and a jump away to the Virgin Hotel. Another one you can consider, we're going to fly over to the other side of the Strip. This is the City Center with Aria, things like that. Just behind it on the other side of the I-15, there's this complex right here that has a Hilton Homewood Suites and also a Hilton Garden Inn. I've enjoyed staying there. You'll need a car if you stay here. I mean, you can walk. I've done it, but it's kind of a treacherous walk to walk there and walk to the Strip. Some other places that I like to stay that are Strip adjacent, if we zoom out over yonder towards the Las Vegas Convention Center, right over here. This is the monorail station at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and just next to the monorail station is the Renaissance Las Vegas, a pretty nice upscale hotel that's small in that you can park right next to your rooms. There's no casino, so you're not smelling a lot of smoke. You're not trudging miles to get to your hotel room. Also in this, there's a lot of hotels in this little area that I like. I like this one right here. This is the Las Vegas Marriott. It used to be known as the Las Vegas Marriott Suites Hotel. Now it's just called the Marriott, but all of the rooms are suites. So you get like a bedroom and a living room. So all the rooms are pretty big. I also like this hotel. This is the Springhill Suites, Las Vegas Springhill Suites. Nice, you get free breakfast there. And there's a few Residence Inns. I don't love the ones that are over here, but there's one in the Hughes Center that is this building right here. If you're looking for a Residence Inn, you've got a family, you want something a little bit bigger on the side that has like a refrigerator and you can cook, consider this Residence Inn. And another one that's great if you want to cook and it's Strip adjacent, and this one is in my one of my best Las Vegas, best priced hotels right near the Strip. We're going over to the Strip. And we're going over right here. It's right across from Planet Hollywood. It's called Marriott's Grand Chateau. This one is a timeshare property, but they do rent out the rooms as hotels. And so you can get some rooms that have multiple bedrooms, full kitchens, all that stuff. So you can save a lot of money by eating there. And then you can just walk across the street over to the Planet Hollywood shops and have some of my favorite food at the Earl of Sandwich. I'm going to cover hotels on the Las Vegas Strip now, but before I do that, I want to go to some comments in the chat. Guy Davis says, I stayed at the Renaissance for work event. I would call it clean, nice, and boring. That is a great description for the Renaissance. Sometimes you want all those things. Clean, nice, boring, simple place to sleep. And it's right next to the monorail, so if you don't have a car, easy to take that to get to the Strip. And Kathy says, will you put a list of all these in the comments for us? You know what, Kathy? At the end of this video, when it's archived in a couple hours, I'm going to put all these things in the description. So when you look in the video description, come back in an hour or two, and I'll have put all of this in there. Painkiller says, what's the best budget-friendly place to stay in Vegas? I would say those places I just went through are probably the best budget-friendly places to stay, because a lot of them you don't have to pay for parking, or parking's inexpensive. They don't charge resort fees. So I would consider actually staying off the Strip to do that. James says, what website do you use to find cheap rooms? I always book Las Vegas hotels directly with the hotel. So in that case, I'm actually going to a lot of different hotel websites to check their rates, because typically the hotel rates are much cheaper if you book through them directly. As an example, the Resorts World, the newest hotel on the Strip, has 3 hotels in it, the Hilton, the Conrad, and Croxford's. But the Conrad rooms can often range like $300 a night, but if you just join their rewards program and then come back the next day to search for rooms, you can find room rates of $60 a night. I kid you not, that could literally be the price difference searching on the open web or some aggregators versus joining the rewards program and then searching as a logged in member for the rewards program. And you typically get more perks and upgrades if you book direct. Kip says, we're going in December. We're narrowing down to TI, Bally's, and a few others looking to get a suite. Those are good, inexpensive ones on the Strip. If you're driving a car, I would pick TI because the parking's free at TI. Monster Jam says, Chris, when are you going to do review of Resorts World? I hope to do one by the end of this calendar year. No promises, but that is my goal. And Smoke Vision says, how is it in December? I have a trip planned. I think Vegas is pretty good in December. Actually, the December timeframe is one of my favorite times to visit because the room rates are cheap. There's not that many people that are there, provided you're not going right around the New Year's holiday. All right, I've been going for 20 minutes, so it's time to drink. What is Chris drinking today? I'm sure someone has asked this already. Today, I'm drinking from Tiger Sugar, the newest Taiwanese boba tea shop to open around here. This is a green tea milk latte. That's what this is. So half sweet, half ice. Pretty tasty. All right. So now let's go ahead and talk about things on the Strip. And David says, David says, how come David says message doesn't come up on the screen? Alyssa says, where would be the best family-friendly location hotel to stay? There are a lot of great family-friendly hotels. One that I would recommend to you with family, and we're probably going to start on it as we go to the Strip, is the Mandalay Bay. They have a super great wave pool. I think it's family-friendly. It's off the hustle and bustle of the main part of the Strip, and not too run down and crappy because it's one of the newer hotels. David says, I recommend you stay on the Strip. Off the Strip, you spend too much time on taxis and too much time traveling. I disagree, David, because as we just saw, there's a lot of off-Strip hotels, just like this one, the Marriott Grand Chateau, that if you look at where this is and you look at where the Strip is, super convenient, super close by. So just because it's off the Strip doesn't mean that it's actually further. This thing right here, right above my head, this is the signature at Mgm Grand. You would consider the Mgm Grand to be on the Strip, but if you book the signature at Mgm Grand, it's actually further from the Strip than the Marriott's Grand Chateau. And even if you just look at the math of like where this Homewood Suites and things like that is compared to City Center, this is shorter to some of these Strip hotels than the signature is over here to the Strip hotels. Okay, so talking about the Strip now, I'm gonna go to the south part of the Strip and we'll walk through some of my favorite luxury hotels because I like luxury hotels. Okay, so south side of the Strip, here is the Las Vegas airport on the right hand side. The fabulous Las Vegas sign is right here, and kind of the first hotel on the south side of the Strip is the Mandalay Bay. I like two of the hotels. The Mandalay Bay is actually three hotels. It's the Mandalay Bay, it's the Four Seasons that you see this here. The Four Seasons, actually, if you look at this Mandalay Bay building and you look at how it's constructed, the bottom-most floors that have this kind of concrete pillars that go up there, those are the Mandalay Bay rooms. And then if you look at the top rooms, those are the Four Seasons rooms. So if you book the Four Seasons, it has a separate entrance over here. It's all valet parking, but then you end up staying on the top floors of this building. My preference is the Delano over here because the parking structure is right next to it. It has a separate entrance into the Delano, and you don't have to go through the casino, so super convenient walk from the parking lot over there. Also, if you're going to Allegiant Stadium for games, the Delano is the closest place you could stay if you're going to Allegiant Stadium games. All right, Luxor, the Pyramid Hotel. I think that's another like reasonable value hotel. Excalibur, I think it's too run down. Tropicana, okay. MGM Grand, okay, a lot of tour groups that stay there. New York, I really like the food court there. I like the theming of New York. To the left of that, the T-Mobile Arena, that's where hockey games are and a lot of concerts. We've got Park MGM back here. I've got a review of the Nomad if you want to check that out. There's a neat Eataly to eat at in there. But then we hit the City Center complex right here that has a number of hotels in it. But the first one I want to hit is this tall one. This is the Waldorf Astoria. This is one of my favorite luxury hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. It is a Hilton affiliated hotel. It used to be a Mandarin Oriental. Huge rooms, great views. It's another one of those clean, quiet, boring, but I like those kinds of things. And then you can walk out to the hustle and bustle and craziness. If you want like super ultra high end at the Aria, they've got some like $1,000 a night sky suites that are over there. A lot of people tell me they like the Vdara back here. They're kind of like condo style rooms. I have not stayed there. The Cosmopolitan, these two buildings, currently Marriott affiliated, but it was recently bought by Caesars, and so, or was it MGM? It was bought by one of those two companies. Brain fart as I'm doing the live stream. But the great thing about the Cosmopolitan, if you're going to stay here, is get one of the balcony rooms. Kind of the picture here from the satellite view doesn't do all that great, but Cosmo is one of the few hotels that you can get a strip front balcony. The Bellagio, definitely a classic hotel. You know, get one of the rooms that face the fountain and you have a show every night. I also like Caesars Palace. Caesars Palace, one of the oldest hotels also on the Las Vegas Strip, but they've kept upgrading and modernizing it. If you do book here, there's sort of some of these old rooms that are in the original Caesars Palace, but then there are these new towers like the Augustus Tower and things like that. Try to get one of the rooms in these newer towers because they're a lot nicer than the rooms in the old classic part of the complex. And then as we continue this way, on the right-hand side, Flamingo, Link, Paris, Harrah's. I'd consider them kind of old classic Vegas hotels. They're not super high on my list. Mirage on the left has got the volcano in front of it that erupts every night. That's pretty fun to see. But one of my favorite hotels, and actually my favorite luxury hotel on the Strip for me personally, for Chris, is the Venetian and the Palazzo. The Venetian, these set of buildings right here, the Palazzo, the second hotel they built back here. It's got gondolas that you can ride in it. It's got Grand Canal Shops, really neat shopping center that's themed on Venice. Huge convention center in the back of it. And then my second favorite luxury hotel in the Las Vegas Strip is the Wynn and the Encore. These two sweepy hotels right here. They have the only golf course on the Strip. They got a big golf course behind the Wynn and the Encore. There's a lot of people who told me they like the Trump Tower. I have not stayed there, and hoping to stay at Resorts World soon. You'll see that right here. Circa Circus back over here, which is on my worst cheap hotels list, particularly the manor rooms. You know, so whenever I talk about this, people are like, Chris, I've stayed at the Circa Circus and it wasn't so bad. Then you probably stayed in these two towers. There are these rooms that are back here. These are the manor rooms, and I would consider these pretty much of a no-go. And then a couple honorable mentions back here. This hotel been in construction forever. The Fontainebleau still not open. There's kind of a Hilton Grand Vacations across from it. And then the Stratosphere kind of way back here in the middle between the Strip and downtown Las Vegas. I don't recommend the Strat. To the earlier comment that we had about having to spend too much time transiting back and forth from the Strip to anywhere, the Strat is close to nothing. And so for that reason, I don't recommend the Strat. You can get really cheap rooms there. It's probably one of the cheapest hotels to stay at. That's like one of the big casino hotels in Vegas. All right, so next up, I want to go through some of the attractions that you could go through. We went through the hotels. What are some of the things that I like to do in Vegas? We're going to start with the Strip, then we're going to work our way back over here to the Strat, then back downtown, then in the surrounding neighborhoods. But before I do that, I want to hit a few more of our live stream comments. Vegas Visual says the Flamingo is celebrating 75 years in December 1946, the oldest resort on the Strip. Well, thank you for that tip, Vegas Visual. Christine says, I finally caught your live. Thank you, Christine. Jorge says, Cosmo was the best. Get the fountain views. Thanks for that. Tip, Mindset Motivation says, Chris, how about the Downtowner? I have not stayed at the Downtowner, so I'm not sure. James says, how about a chill hotel for single guys? I guess it depends where you're going, but probably one of the newest ones, particularly if you're looking downtown, is the Circa. So it's 21 and up hotel. You might enjoy that one as a single guy. Esther asks, does Uber get expensive there? Surge charging, for instance. It does. And actually, I like, if you're staying on the Strip, I actually don't recommend Uber to get around, because all the Uber pickup and drop-offs are like someplace in the back of the hotels. They're really inconvenient. So like taxis, I think, are the best way to get around the Strip, just because the hotels, part of the taxi mafia, really prioritize taxis out in the front. I think Ubers are a great way to maybe get from the airport into hotels. And then if you're staying at one of the hotels that are like off the Strip, like that Hilton Garden Inn or the Renaissance or things like that, then the Uber can just pick you up right in front. Another reason why I like to stay in those off-Strip small hotels, because if you are taking Ubers, it's a lot easier. Jorge says he stayed at the Wynn, the highest rated hotel in Vegas. Well, thank you, that Jorge. And Esther says, what do I do alone as the only one in the family who doesn't gamble staying at the Wynn? Esther, I have a whole video about what to do in Las Vegas if you don't gamble, but I'll probably talk through some great things to do if you don't gamble as we go through this. And Eddie points out that if you are at a hotel like the Renaissance or the Sahara, that you need to take the monorail. They end at 2 a.m. Great point, Eddie. So you need to take a taxi at that point. And Alex points out that any aviation nerds should check out Nellis Air Force Base. They do some air shows and exercise and things like that. So Alex, thank you for the suggestion on Nellis Air Force Base. And Roz points out another great way to get up and down the Strip, and I agree with Roz on this one, is the Deuce Bus. A lot of people overlook this, but it's like a double-decker bus that goes up and down the Strip, which is really great, except at like heavy traffic times. And then in that case, it's really pretty lousy because it gets stuck in all the Strip traffic. In that case, that's when the monorail is really better. The problem with the monorail is it only services the like south side of the Strip. And actually, I have a map of the monorail here. So if we look at the Las Vegas Strip and we look at the monorail to go through it, you can see the monorail is that blue line, and it's just the southeast portion of the Strip, and it doesn't really hit any of the northwest hotels. And so if you're staying on that northwest side of the Strip, then it's just a super long walk to get to any of the monorail stations, and ends up really not being worth it. And they've put all the monorail stations at the backs of the hotels. So like at MGM Grand, from the front door of the MGM Grand, if you're trying to get to the monorail station, it's like a 15-minute walk. It's like a long way to get back to where most of those monorail stations are. DJ Dexterity says, the wife and I are celebrating our 15th anniversary, staying at Circa. I hope you enjoy it. DJ Dexterity, let me know. All right. So now I want to go back to the map, and we're going to go ahead and hit some of the attractions that you might want to check out, starting with the Strip around the Mandalay Bay again. So the first thing that everybody likes to do is they like to take pictures here at the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. You can see it right there. This is a classic place to start your Vegas trip or end your Vegas trip. Sometimes it might be better ending. There is a parking lot right here in the, people say, Chris, where do I park to go there? There's a parking lot in the middle of the Strip just to go to the Las Vegas sign. There will often be long lines of people waiting to get their pictures taken. There might be people offering to take your picture for money. Don't, they might run off with your camera. Just have a friend take your picture. Now, the other place I want to mention that's down here is the Pinball Hall of Fame. Oh, we got this interesting skew on this. I need to zoom out again to get it to be the proper perspective that I want. All right, good. So right here, and you don't see it on Google Earth yet because it wasn't built when they did this satellite imagery, but is the Pinball Hall of Fame. If you like pinball, this is like a pinball lover's dream. They just moved here on the Strip to this new location, so you can check that out. It's called a Hall of Fame Museum, but old pinball machines, they still use quarters. We talked about the Mandalay Bay, great hotel. If you have kids and they like pools, it has like Las Vegas's biggest wave pool for any hotel, and it also has a neat like aquarium. The aquarium costs money to go to. The pool is just for hotel guests. The Luxor is pretty fun just to wander around because the whole like Egyptian theming is pretty cool. There's also, you can see it here, there's a tram that runs from the Mandalay Bay to the Luxor to the Excalibur to there, to the end. So that's kind of a neat way to get around. The New York has a roller coaster that you see right here. That's a lot of fun to do for people who don't gamble. I like that roller coaster. Across the street from the New York over here, there's the Showcase Mall. It's got like a big Coke bottle in front of it. There's an M&M store over here. Another tram that you can take to get around. There's a tram that goes from the Park MGM behind City Center over to the Bellagio. And so you can take that on this side of the Strip. If you're staying in Park MGM or Bellagio or going back and forth, that's the way to cut down some walking. It makes some intermediate stops at Aria and City Center. Now, the Bellagio, everybody knows about the Bellagio. It's famous. But in addition to the fountains, what's really cool to check out, and you can see the dome right here from the top, is what they call the conservatory. The conservatory, it's on the back side of the lobby, and it's basically like a botanical garden that they update every quarter to be like themed based on Christmas or spring or things like that. It's free to go in. Just go in the Bellagio Hotel, go to the back side of the lobby and find the Bellagio. It might look like a place that you're not supposed to go in because it's like garden store or something, but absolutely free admission to go in there. The Eiffel Tower has a restaurant in it, and you can also go up to the viewing area at the top of the Eiffel Tower. You got to pay to do that. Joseph Lee points out, and I kind of did pass this by so far, Allegiant Stadium. If you're fans of Stadium and the Raiders, you can take guided tours of that starting at $50. Thanks, Joseph, for that tip. Now, if I have like one singular show that I like more than any other show on the Las Vegas Strip, it is the volcano in front of the Mirage. This Sometimes they only do it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So check the Mirage's website, find out what time they do it, and make sure you see the volcano show. I feel it's like classic Vegas and a show that's not to be missed. Kind of across the street from it, and I guess I passed it, there's this big Ferris wheel, the link right here. It takes like a half hour to go around. Kind of slow, but in the property of the Flamingo right here, you can walk around. They got like a garden area in the center of it. There's actually like flamingos and stuff like that in there. That's pretty, it's cool, like old Vegas to go in there and see. And then we've already talked about the Venetian, walk around the shops, get a gondola ride if you want to. There's the fashion show shopping mall right here, has a neat food court on the top. The Wynn has like a small fountain show at the front corner, but it also does have this lake that does shows hourly in the evening. Most people don't know about that, but you kind of got to like walk all the way in, small little viewing area to watch the shows on this lake. And then we get Resorts World. People are mixed on Resorts World. Some people love it, some people hate it. People say it's too expensive, but as the newest hotel in Vegas, something great to walk around. It also has a Singapore Hawker Center inspired food court that some people love. Other people say it's too expensive. I haven't been there yet. I'm looking forward to it, so I'll tell you all about it when I do. The Circus, as much as I love to hate on the Circus for the rooms, is actually really fun for kids. It has free circus acts that are in there. And then if you go to the back of it, there's this whole Adventure Dome theme park in the back, which you can go to. And then, you know, just as like a neat marquee, it has this cool, like their sign is this whole clown and things like that. I don't know, it's just a cool sign that's out front. Hey, and if you're looking for super cheap eats, people are like, Chris, why do you never point out McDonald's? Well, for you people, there's McDonald's right there on the strip next to Circus. Okay, and then there's not much to do this way on the strip until you get to the Strat, which used to be known as the Stratosphere. I think it's pretty cool to go up there and see the view. There's also some rides and things like that up there. There's a restaurant that you can go to up there. The rest of the casino itself is fairly underwhelming. And then just right here, right in front of the Stat, there's another sign that you might want to take a picture of. It's the like welcome to downtown Las Vegas sign. That's cool to take. Okay, next up, I'm going to tell you about the things you might want to check out between the Strip and downtown, and then we'll hit up the things that are downtown adjacent, and then around the outskirts of Vegas. But before I do that, I want to go to a few comments from the chat. Gilberto says, why McDonald's when you can In-N-Out? I don't know, Gilberto. I would eat it In-N-Out 10 times over eating at McDonald's. But there's a lot of McDonald's people that say, Chris, there's some really good cheap eats at McDonald's, so that's for them. I should have pointed out the In-N-Out burger that's on the strip where that link Ferris wheel is. If you're craving In-N-Out burger and you can't get off the strip, they do have one there. The prices are a little bit more there, but I do have another In-N-Out that I'm going to point out as we get later on this one. That's the In-N-Out burger with the company store that is off the strip. So that's the one I recommend. YouTube Experience says that, yes, there is, but the company store one's my favorite that we'll get to in a moment. Hugh Ring says, any chance the Treasure Island Pirate Show will return? I think that chance is zero, honestly. I don't think it brought them enough people that were watching it to go inside. It was expensive because it had live actors and actresses. Lance agrees with some of these things to go to Vegas, the fountains, the volcano, and the Bellagio Conservatory. There you go. Jake says, Chris, have you actually done the gondola ride? It seems overpriced to me. It seems overpriced to me too. So no, I've not done the gondola ride, but that doesn't mean it's not for some people, right? Some people really like that and they're into gondolas. Oh, see, girl, and I didn't do the gondolas when we went to actual Venice, Italy either because we thought they were too expensive. They're just kind of expensive. You know, as the weather's changing, times are changing, and so as light kind of changes out here, my light inside's too bright. So let me turn this thing down before I go because I seem a little washed out. All right. There we go. Okay, there we go. Adjust. Am I too dark now? No, now I'm too dark. Okay. The magic of a one-person live stream. All right. We're gonna go with this lighting now. It's a little more moody. What do you think? This is the moody side of Chris. Okay. So let's go back to the map and check out some of the things that you might want to see between the Strat and downtown Las Vegas. One that I would recommend to you is the Bonanza gift shop. This place, you could call it a tourist trap. It's actually maybe the only thing that I would walk to from the Strat Hotel. And why would you want to go here? This place is the world's largest gift shop. That's something you can check off your list of things you've done, going to the world's largest gift shop. The other thing that you might want to check out between the Strat and downtown Las Vegas are all of the wedding chapels. There are a ton of wedding chapels, and in particular, there's the Graceland Wedding Chapel. If you're looking to get married by Elvis, you can do that here at this little Graceland Wedding Chapel. They're all little tiny places, but there's a ton of them over here. Another kind of notable area is this area right here. This is the Las Vegas Arts District right here. And so they do some art walks and things like that. If you're trying to get off the beaten path, do some things other people don't do, then check out this LA Arts District. Some things that are in and around and near downtown. Downtown's over here. Probably one of the most famous things is this Las Vegas Premium Outlets. If you like outlet shopping, there's two main outlet malls, the North Outlets and the South Outlets that are near the airport. The North Outlets, I think, are the most popular, the biggest, have the biggest selection of shops. So consider checking this one out. Parking can be hard here, so you might want to actually take an Uber there. And then there's this, let's see if the Big Rig Jig. And let's see if this thing will give us a picture of the Big Rig Jig. There's this kind of hotel down here called Ferguson's, and inside Ferguson's they have this big rig truck that is this art piece. It's all kind of blocky on Google Earth, but this is a cool thing. Like, if you like art, you like kind of like bizarre things you don't see anywhere in the world, you might have seen pictures of this, definitely head down here. It's on the other part of Fremont Street. So this street right here, this is Fremont Street. This Fremont Street experience is over on this side, and then this is like the undeveloped part of it. But this is kind of neat to walk down in the daytime. They've got some old Las Vegas signs, things like that. Might not be the best to go at nighttime, but in the day it's cool. Even at night, you might want to make it over here to this place called the Downtown Container Park. It's this shopping center that is built up of shipping containers, and in the front of it, it has a praying mantis that breathes fire every 15 minutes or something like that. So walk some portion of the street to see the neon signs until it gets too sketchy. See this older part of downtown Vegas and the El Cortez Hotel. There's just some classics over here. And there's also, if you really like neon, on this part of downtown, there is the Neon Museum. That is a museum that just has old neon signs from Las Vegas casinos of old. And they do daytime tours and they do nighttime tours, and you can see in there, they've even got the sign from the Hard Rock Hotel that just closed and was rebranded as the Virgin Hotel. So that's pretty neat. And people say, Chris, why don't you have any videos on the Neon Museum? One of the things they say is no videos for commercial purposes, so no videos from the Neon Museum. All right. We've talked about the Fremont Street experience, which this is Fremont Street, and this LED dome over it has neat shows every hour at night. There's a zip line in there. It's a cool place to see concerts also. They have live entertainment, so you can check out their schedule online. Okay, and now we're gonna hit up some things around the Strip, but first I wanna go to some live chat comments. Victor says, what's the Atomic Museum called and where is it? It is the National Atomic Testing Museum. It is on East Flamingo Road. So actually, if we see that on a map right here, zooming away from downtown, it is over here. This is a Smithsonian affiliated museum. And this is the Flamingo Hotel, and this is kind of where that National Atomic Testing Museum is. That's definitely one of the places that I recommend going to around the Strip. Okay. And EJ says downtown Vegas is not as bad as people think. I love the plaza. I think that's great perspective, EJ. It's just, you know, when people say, Chris, should I stay downtown or should I stay on the Strip? I just say, well, it depends where all the things are that you want to do. If there's a lot of things downtown that you want to do, stay downtown. There's a lot of things around the Strip you want to do, stay around the Strip. But if you're staying in downtown and everything you want to do is on the Strip, then I'm not sure that it makes sense. A lot of chatter about, I hate the resort fees in Vegas. Yeah, so stay in all the Strip adjacent hotels that I talked about, the Hiltons, the Hyatts, the Residence Inns, the places that don't charge resort fees. Jorge says the Pepper Mill is a must for breakfast. That is a classic place. The YouTube experience is, where did Britney Spears perform? She's performed in a few different places. I think she was definitely at Planet Hollywood before. I think she's going to be at the Park MGM now. Booba says, what's my drink of choice? It is a jasmine milk tea latte from Tiger Sugar. Pretty good. Not too sweet. Right. Very detailed window cleaner says, what's your thoughts on 3 nights, I guess, or 4 nights? Well, it depends if you've been to Vegas or not before. If this is your first time in Vegas, definitely stay 4 nights. I think there's easily, like, if it's your first trip to Vegas, there's easily like a week's worth of stuff to do in Vegas because there's so much stuff. Me, I usually stay for less because it's just a 4-hour drive for me. After about 3 days, I'm ready to go home. Like, I love going to Vegas, but I also love going home. And just at some point, it can become just all overwhelming and lack of sleep and all those sorts of things. But I would take the longer one. EJ, Brad, and Kai says Area 15 is an awesome place to visit. All right, let's do that, EJ, Brad, and Kai, because Area 15 was the next place on my list off the Strip to check out. So let's go ahead and zoom into Area 15. Oh, we're already there. So if we look at the Strip as to where this is, it's kind of like behind Resorts World or behind the Fashion Center Mall on the other side of the 15. It is described as kind of like an immersive, artistic mall experience. The cool thing to go to is Meow Wolf, which is this supermarket that's an art exhibit. As you can see, the kind of place that puts a sign in there that says does not exist because they know people would be looking at it on Google Earth is sort of funny. I give kudos to those people for spray painting that on the top of Area 15. John says, Chris, have you been to the Nerd Bar? I've never been to the Nerd Bar. Should I go? And Alex says, how about Area 51? I don't want to get chased away by security. But, you know, I love on the way to Vegas seeing the, in Baker, where they have the big thermometer, the Alien Fresh Jerky store. That's all like, you know, Area 51 stuff there. And Lance says, yeah, it really depends on where you're coming from that dictates the days you stay. For sure, if you're coming from Europe, the UK, Latin America, Asia, whatever, you've come a long way, so stay for a long time. You know, if it's part of some larger agenda, yeah, 3 or 4 days, absolutely. And Paint Killer says, is anything interesting being built in Vegas right now? I think one of the interesting things that's being built is the sphere. It's called the MSG sphere. Let's see if we can get a picture of this on what Google Earth has on it. Okay, yeah, it's got like it's got the open sphere. So this is behind the Venetian. The Venetian's right here, and there's this thing called the MSG sphere. It's not monosodium glutamate. It's not the Chinese food. It is the Madison Square Garden sphere. When it's done, it'll be a whole completed sphere. That's the new most high-tech concert venue coming to Las Vegas. So it's probably the one in the works that I'm most excited for. Jorge points out the container park that I talked about before with the Mantis was a big flop. I think it's still cool to walk around. It's not the busiest place to go to, but the fire-breathing praying mantis is pretty neat. John says, best hotel recommendations for Hyatt Globalist members. John, you would think I would have some great recommendation for you. I am a Hyatt Globalist member. Yeah. Not a lot of great Hyatt benefits on any of the Hyatt affiliated hotels in Las Vegas. There's like a Hyatt place. Woo! The MGM hotels, you can match M Life status, but it gives you like free parking. I'm really excited that the Rio Hotel is in plans to be rebranded like a few different Hyatts. And so I'm hoping as a place to go to get some really good like Hyatt Globalist breakfasts. I think that would be pretty cool when that happens. Okay. And Sean says, will you stay at any of the hotels in Resorts World? I hope to, by the end of this year, do a video review of the Conrad at Resorts World. That's all I'm going to say at this point, so I don't make too many promises that I can't fulfill. All right, let's go to the final section of our Las Vegas neighborhood tour, which is a few more things around the Strip and then some things that are kind of like way off the Strip that you might want to consider. If you like Asian food, then you should consider visiting Chinatown Plaza. Chinatown Plaza on the west side of the Strip. We kind of flew over the 15 there. This is West Spring Mountain Road, and you can see this plaza is definitely like Asian themed with pagodas. The entrance that you drive through to get into the parking lot has its thing. I mean, it's a little bit cheesy, but I will tell you that this plaza and some of the adjacent plazas have some really legitimate Asian food, not just Chinese food, Japanese food, Korean food. This is where you're going to find the nexus for, noodles and soup dumplings and all that stuff. The other place that I want to mention to eat, and it's like, Chris, why are you telling us about In-N-Out Burger? A lot of people ask about In-N-Out Burger. Is this In-N-Out Burger location right here. This is at the intersection of the Interstate 15 and Tropicana. It's right across the freeway from the New York T-Mobile Arena. It's got a huge In-N-Out Burger sign. You can't miss it off the freeway. And this is In-N-Out Burger. This building behind In-N-Out Burger is the In-N-Out Burger company store. So if you want to buy In-N-Out Burger Christmas ornaments, you want to buy In-N-Out Burger flip-flops, you want to buy In-N-Out Burger bath mats, you will find it all at that company store. They are not open quite as late as In-N-Out Burger. They're open something like 9 to 5, 10 to 5, something like that, like banker's hours at the company store. So just keep that in mind if you're planning to buy some merch there. Another like casino that has a neat free show that not enough people know about, but that our friends Dale and Paula McKenzie told us about on our live stream a couple weeks ago is the Silverton Casino. The Silverton Casino, right off the Interstate 15, kind of far south over by the South Point and the M Resorts. They have a really neat aquarium in here where there are mermaid shows inside the Silverton Casino, and they've got a very huge Outdoor World Bass Pro Shops. If you like fishing, outdoor gear, stuff like that, you will enjoy that part of the Silverton Casino. There's the other outlet mall by the airport over here that I talked about, and heading way far south, right down here, this is like 15 miles south of Las Vegas, is this thing called the Seven Magic Mountains off of the freeway. It's literally just these painted rocks that are off the freeway, but it's super cool in the middle of nowhere to go take your Instagram selfies with these brightly colored painted rocks. If you are looking to hike, then the best hiking spot in Vegas adjacent is Red Rock Canyon that you'll find right over here. And if you don't want to hike it, then there is kind of like a scenic loop that you could just do to drive around Red Rock Canyon. The final thing that's Vegas adjacent that you might consider visiting is the Hoover Dam right here. This is great to visit if you've got a car. If you don't have a car, it's probably way too long and way too far away. There's companies that do helicopter tours and all that stuff of it, but you can go in here, you can take tours of the Hoover Dam, or you can just kind of like, drive through, drive at it, look at it, another way of not really spending any money, not stopping. Day trips that you might want to take from Las Vegas. And so with this, I'm going to zoom way, way, way out. Way, way, way out. Okay, So Las Vegas is here. Death Valley National Park is over here to the left. It's a cool national park in California. You can go to the Grand Canyon, which is kind of over here. If you go to the Grand Canyon, it's like a 4-hour drive from Las Vegas, so that's probably not a day trip. That's like something you might want to connect with it. Another great thing to connect... That was a really loud car that just went by here. I don't know if you could heard. Another great thing to connect with Vegas, and there's not a day trip, but you might want to stay there overnight, are some of the national parks in Utah. Utah has a lot of great national parks. There's Zion National Park, and there's also there's a couple other national parks that are around Utah that you could enjoy. And if you wanted to visit Los Angeles from Las Vegas, you could totally do that too. 4-hour drive from Vegas, assuming you're not going on, Friday evening, holidays, those sorts of things.
Fellow explorers, it is now Q&A time. If you've got a question, I've got an answer.
All right, fellow explorers, that is your detailed guide of Las Vegas. So if you asked a question and I didn't answer it, go ahead and hit me up again to make sure I get to your question. Travel Adventures from Eric B says, so many day trips from Vegas. I actually have a video on it on my channel. So if you're looking out for some of those, check out Eric's channel. Valerian says, what motel are you at? Are you near the freeway? That car was super loud. I'm not anywhere near a freeway. Those are just, reckless people that drive around residential areas with mufflers that have been made too loud. They think they're really cool. Do I know a lot of people that left California for Nevada? I know people that left California for Nevada. I don't know that I would say I know a lot of people. It certainly seems like it's much more popular for every YouTuber under the sun to make a video about it, but I don't personally see that many in my life that are leaving. James says, thank you, Chris. Good, healthy, cheap eats. I really like Inside Planet Hollywood. I really like the Earl of Sandwich. For lunchtime, there's a place called Ocean's 11? Somebody will help me out in the chat with the name of the place. It's like Ocean something or other that has really good $5 lunch specials there as well. So that's like two of my quick suggestions. I've got a whole video on the 23 cheapest eats on the Las Vegas Strip. They're probably not the healthiest, but they are the cheapest. I know nothing about the Longhorn Hotel. Jordan says, what's the best buffet? I really like the buffet, the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan at Caesar's Palace. They recently redid their buffet, the Bacchanal buffet, so I would recommend that one to you as well. What's neat about that one is you can make a timed reservation for it, so you don't have to stand in a huge line if you're eating at that one at Caesar's Palace. Joe says, should I leave Ireland for Vegas? If you like gambling, Joe, you like nightlife, you like all the things Vegas has, go for it. But if you like grassy hills and sheep and that sort of stuff, then Ireland's going to be better for grassy hills and open spaces. Vegas is definitely a desert. I would say if you were like moving, Ireland is like a wet, moist place. Vegas is a dry place. You're going to spend a while adapting to that really dry climate. Tim asks if I have stayed at the Four Seasons. I've stayed at the Mandalay Bay and I've stayed at the Delano. I've not stayed at the Four Seasons. I have not stayed there, particularly because the Four Seasons is 100% valet parking and they don't have any self-parking, and I really like to self-park my car. I know that may sound petty, but to tell you how much I hate valet parking, when I stay at the Waldorf Astoria, I self-park my car at the Aria next door because I can self-park it there, and it's like a short 5-minute walk from there to the Waldorf Astoria. Because I get my car back much faster. Ahab says if you go to the Bacchanal Caesar's Palace, definitely get a reservation. I agree, definitely get a reservation. And Jorge says the Hoover Dam is nice. Good deal. Dilo says not the sheep. The sheep in Ireland are awesome. Roz says that restaurant that I was recommending at the Planet Hollywood is called the Ocean One. Thank you, Roz, and I know other couple people said it too. Paint Killer says, I love these detailed videos. What's the next one? I don't know what's the next one, because let me tell you, the reason why I did this one is after my last Los Angeles detailed travel guide, somebody left a comment on it and said, Chris, maybe you can do one of these on Las Vegas. And I figured with the U.S. reopening here to international travelers in just a few weeks, Vegas should be next up in the queue. So I don't know. If you got suggestions of cities you want to see me do a detailed guide on, let me know, because I love when you suggest things. And if you have enjoyed this video so far and you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do so, because every like of this video goes to feed one piece of premium bamboo to the pandas of the Yellow Productions crew, and they are hungry. It also really helps me out because it lets the YouTube algorithm know that you like this video, and so YouTube should share this video with more people. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have not visited the Lee Canyon Ski Resort, but if anybody has, help a fellow traveler out in the chat. Tony says it was great seeing you with Dale and Paula McKenzie. It was great having them on the channel. Thanks, Tony. Tony. Brick says, do another Disneyland video. Love those. Thanks, Brick. I need to get back there again and probably update my guides. I've not jumped into the Enchanted Key, like the new annual passes yet, so I need to think about how to best do that. Painkiller says Tokyo. I definitely want to do one on Tokyo. I think I'm going to wait till it actually reopens and people go there. But San Francisco, New York City, those are probably good ones for me to do in the queue. And there's a second vote for San Francisco, third vote for Honolulu. All right, thank you for those votes. I will keep San Francisco, New York City, Honolulu in mind. And Lance says, I can't believe it. I forgot to hit the like button. Well, thank you, Lance, for hitting it out. It doesn't matter what time you hit it. Just hit that like button. Thank you kindly. 267 people on 129 likes. So I think we could get at least another 100 likes on that like counter. If I could only reach over on the other side of your screen and tap that like button for you, I would. Painkiller says Disneyland detail would be interesting. Yeah, I can certainly do something around the Anaheim area, like inside Disneyland. I don't know. That's an interesting comment too. Alex says Maui. I did. I actually have 3 videos. I've done Oahu, Maui, and Kauai in these kind of hour-long sessions. So if you haven't seen those, I'd encourage you to check the archives from a couple months ago. I did them fairly recently. Kareem says, any Persian or Mediterranean food buffets? I don't know of a single buffet that's Persian or Mediterranean. Planet Hollywood's buffet was like Persian or Mediterranean. It was sort of like Middle Eastern themed, and they had like really good lamb kebabs, but I don't think they've reopened their buffet since the pandemic, and I don't know that I would expect them to. Sean says, hey Chris, what's your favorite casino game? Mine's roulette. It's probably going to be sad, but I really like slot machines. I like the mini games on the slot machines. Like, I like the sounds, the lights, and so every time I go, I look for some new slot machines to play so that I can just kind of, I know I'm going to lose my money anyway. So, $100 or whatever over a stay, not so bad to just have a little bit of fun on the slots. And if I am playing a table game, then roulette's pretty fun. So is craps. Jorge says, I've been to Ireland 3 times. The people in Ireland are nice. The people in Ireland are nice. I agree with you. Joe says, come to Ireland and do a video. Just pack warm and waterproof clothing. Thanks for that tip, Joe. I've been to Ireland, and actually I have some videos on Dublin and those sorts of things. They're from a long time ago. That was one of the first sets of videos we've done here on the channel. Diane says, Chris, what is the most interesting thing you have bought from the In-N-Out Burger store? That's a good question. I would say I bought a lot of really interesting things from the In-N-Out Burger store, but I'd say some of the things I'm most proud of are my In-N-Out Burger Christmas ornaments, my Christmas tree. I have a double-double ornament, I have a French fry ornament, and I have like a medium drink, like a soda ornament. So I think those are pretty fun.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
All right, fellow explorers, it's time for the giveaway. And every live stream, I give away a Yellow Productions crew shirt. Actually, one like that right back there with that logo on it to someone who answered one of my questions. And this question is something I said earlier. And you might be able to get this if you just know a little bit of Vegas trivia. But at the Golden Nugget Hotel in downtown Las Vegas, they have the world's largest what on display? fill in the blank. The Golden Nugget Hotel in downtown Las Vegas has the world's largest what on display? If you're the first person to put that in the chat, you win a Yellow Productions Crew shirt shipped to you anywhere in the world. Now, if you're wondering when my next live stream is, head over to update.yellow-productions.com, sign up over there. I'll send you an email as soon as I know when it's scheduled. Next week, tentatively, Dennis Callan is on the schedule to join us and give us some Europe travel tips. We're still kind of working on what day that is, or if it's going to be next week. We still got to kind of work out some final details. If it's not that, then it might be one of these detailed travel guides. But if you sign up over here, you'll be the first person to know when and what it is. All right, so looking at the chat, trying to find the first person that gave the answer, and
now we have a winner chicken dinner.
Gordon Peters, congratulations. The world's largest golden nugget. You were the first person to put the whole thing in there. Actually, some other people just said nugget, and you said golden nugget before that. There were a lot of people that put golden nugget, so thank you. Good guess, because it's the Golden Nugget Hotel, right? It would be the world's largest what? So Gordon Peters, to claim your Yellow Productions Crew shirt, send me an email. My email address is in the description of this video. Let me know your size, let me know your address, and I will get that to you right away. If you didn't get to win one and you really want one, you can also find them on my Yellow Productions Etsy shop. You'll find a link in the description to that as well. Well, fellow explorers, as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video.